I'm here to give you just a bite of a love read straight from the hip with lots of lip. We got the gales starting to brew outside. They're not quite here yet, okay, but I do feel like something's stirring. And I do feel like something is stirring in your energy, okay? It's in your energy field. You can pick it up on the wind. It's not here yet, but you sense this, okay? You sense that something's coming in your love saga. I got it's a saga, okay? It's not a story, it's a saga. It's got a little more bang for the buck, broad, okay? It's interesting. I did like dip into your energy and get like a general kind of download for you all on how these Venus transits are influencing your love life, your romantic storyline. And what came in right off the bat is that right now you're a little bit reticent to commit to any direction in particular. In fact, you've realized that in the past you sort of bought into like a fantasy, an idyllic scenario of like the happily ever after. We ride off into the sunset. It's just all so perfect and kismet. And you're starting to recognize that that's like a little naive and you're calling yourself out for it. And yeah, you're a dreamer. And you know, Leo, you can't like squelch any of that goodness that is such a beautiful aspect to Leo. The playfulness, the spiritedness, you know, the pleasure seeker, the one who wants to like be the life of the party, who wants to shine and bring their light forward into the world. But sometimes that light, if you stay too much in the light and you don't temper it with just a little bit of consciousness around the shadow, then you kind of keep having these faded experiences and you're just like, woe is me, but you don't recognize that you're the one who is the architect of that design. Like, you do not have to be like, you know, some sideline character in your love story. You're meant to be the one who totally like takes up the challenge. You're the protagonist, and sometimes you played the role as the antagonist in your storyline. Some of you are writers. Some of you are writers, and some of you are very inspired by your romantic adventures, or I just heard in some cases mishaps in your writing. Like, you might even be working some of the stuff out through writing that you've been through. You might realize you have quite a tale to tell. Okay, this just coming in as a side story, okay, a little diversion there, a little diversionary energy. But I do feel like you've dealt with a lot of disappointment. You've dealt with a lot feeling like it was concealed from you or hidden. You're really starting to find just raw, like, transparency really sexy. I think you always did, but even more so now because you just dealt with a little too much going on beneath the surface, a little too much able to be read between the lines in your love connections. And it's made you a little gun shy, I have to say. I do feel like you're a bit guarded at this time and your sense of security is super important to you. You might be a little bit more focused on practicalities. Some of you, because you're recognizing that you need a space of your own. This coming in for Sun, Leos, okay? Like, you need your own space. You need to be able to have time out from, you know, being around, you know, your person all the time. And so you just need a little room to breathe, right? Some of you are like wanting to go on a trip or something to get that breathing room or get a different perspective. You're like needing a little space from your problems in terms of matters of the heart. That's what I got, okay? And some of you, this is really weighing on you because you actually share the space. And so there's something here where you're focusing on your money right now. Like, I see you just like kind of like really trying to get the bag right now. So you can create this space for you. Some of you, it's actually looking at a move, okay? Looking at options in this arena. Others of you, it's looking at actually, I heard renovations. So maybe you're looking at kind of creating like sort of a different setup in the home where each has kind of like their personal space. And for others of you, I see you going on a trip and getting space that way. All right. But this might be just the solution you're looking for in that case. I do feel like you're really wanting to like be the hero in your love story. You're wanting to overcome the things that you feel have challenged you on your heart's path to fulfillment. I think you could pull a rabbit out of the hat, Leo. I mean, why couldn't you? We do have on April 17th, Venus is conjunct the North Node. So this is a real opportunity to roll the dice, you know, and see if you can pull something off. Not shortly after that, you know, on the 19th, we also have Mercury conjunct Venus, and the sun goes into Taurus. So this is about, what do you really value? What do you really want to invest in? You might be ready to make a decision at that time, but I feel like right now you're kind of like in this moment where you're like, honestly, I don't know who I want to invest in. Honestly, I'm not quite sure how I want to move forward in love at this point. All right. It might have been because a lot was just recently cleared. Maybe some options were cleared. Maybe there was just suddenly a total realization you had about your situation that got you thinking about things differently. This pause won't last very long, okay? This is a big timing card for me. It always comes out like this for me. I know it's not what it means for other readers, but for me, this is what it means. It has meant this for like, you know, almost 33 years now that I've been doing readings. This is my timing card for within the next 2 months, things will get moving. It was 7:11 on the clock, okay? So look to enter a much more lucky cycle in matters of the heart once we hit a couple months from now, okay? Let things brew a little bit. Let those gales brew, all right? Those winds of change, because they'll give you inspiration. They'll cart you off in new directions. There will be communication that comes in as well during the cycle, where you're going to start to see things a little bit differently. There is a lot of healing communication coming in at this time, and sometimes that healing is taking back your power and saying, nope, I'm closing this door, I'm done with this for good, and I'm moving on. You know, that can manifest in many different forms, but there is some kind of moving forward here for you that I think will really hit the mark in matters of the heart. You're going to know how to move forward. You may even travel, you know, to connect with a loved one more deeply, go on some kind of like love trip together where you can really sink in with each other, enjoy each other's company. You know, maybe you just need some fresh scenery. That's all it is. You know, you need to go out and have an adventure together. Some of you are going to like bump into a very special soulmate while you're on a trip. It starts to get things in motion. Okay, look for this in the next couple of months. I do see that once this connection is made, or once you make the choice to drop in deeper with your current partner in this way, it does get like a certain communication flowing between you. If you're at a distance from this person, I see messages going back and forth, like communication really picking up. Maybe you're wanting to bridge the distance also with communication. This doesn't have to be geographic distance. It can just be like, we lost each other back there for a while, and really learning how to communicate with each other in a new way, because both of you have been through some pretty major changes in your life. I got, yeah, but there's a cord here, you know, you can get back on the same page with some healing communication. This is a soulmate, right? This is a soulmate, and where you felt really jilted in matters of love because you had such fanciful dreams that came down to earth with a thud. I really feel like there's something coming in here to just like re-inspire you a little bit. You know, magic doesn't always play out the way you think it will. Like you think it's going to be some whimsical delight, and sometimes, you know, you have to get dragged down to hell as part of you know, the transformation, because there's healing work that needs to be done. I mean, ultimately, when we're looking at love, we're looking at understanding ourselves better through the mirror of another. You know, it works both ways. That's a two-way mirror, okay? So it's not always going to be, you know, just endless bliss and beauty and ecstasy, okay? Sometimes it's going to be hard times and bitter tea. And that's what really makes the sort of like deciding factor between is this thing built to last, or is this just something that's, you know, in it for when it's good, when it's light and bright and easy, and you know, it doesn't take any real showing up? Or is this something that really can stand the test of time and the natural blows that come in life? You know, sometimes those gales do blow through our lives and it uproots everything. Sometimes we deal with crisis. Sometimes we deal with a health crisis. Sometimes we deal with just unexpected things happening that just pull that rug out from under us, and we're not at our high point. And you have somebody that can be there with you during those times. That's kind of like the stuff that you're looking at. I feel like you're getting into alignment with somebody who can really ride it out with you. Okay? They can ride that shit out with you. Yeah, 11:22 on the clock, okay? Even when things are really rough. I feel like where there was issues with communication and matters of the heart, like maybe you would like meet somebody, for those of you that are single, okay? And you're on the scene, you're on the prowl, licking your chops, okay? For those of you that are single, you may have found that it's like, you know, I found people I was really attracted to. I thought they were really hot, but then when it came to the conversation, it was just like, wah, wah. It didn't stimulate you. Some of you relate to that label of sapiosexual. You're really attracted by, you know, the quality of communication, the witty banter, the intellect, you know, and you just found that like the conversation was dry or it bored you. It didn't stimulate your mind, or it didn't activate you to, you know, grow as a person. There may have been times when you had complete shutdown in communication. Some of you could have been dealing with somebody that's sort of like the way they punish. Ooh, the way they punish, in a fight. They go cold on you. They go ghost on you. They cut you off, you know, cut you off cold, okay? So there's some aspect of this where there's been like a communication breakdown in a situation, but I see this really shifting. I see it shifting within a couple months' time. Right now, just let things kind of like roll out as they need to. You're tying up some loose ends. Yeah, you're tying up some loose ends. You still need to get in touch with your own feelings a little bit more here. You could be on the Cancer Leo cusp. You also could be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio in this situation. I also feel like we got Scorpio on the scene very strongly during this cycle because we do have a Scorpio full moon going down on the 23rd, and that is the full moon of primal forces, all right? That's when those gales might start blowing, I have to say. And before that, building up to it, you know, 3 days prior on the 21st, we have Venus conjunct Chiron, right? It's been in Aries. So Aries is holding down that fort in the North Node, 1344 on the clock, 444. This could be a point of synchronicity for healing a rift in a significant relationship, I have to say. A wound that you carried inside of you for a long time and that you may have inadvertently projected on another, and vice versa. It works both ways. They also projected a wound onto you because you're each other's mirror. Okay, so there might be something that goes down then when the sun is square Pluto. Okay, so this is sort of like your devil. It's your devil in your storyline, and there's something here that you really need to resolve, close a circle on, and it really has everything to do with not needing to blame another, but owning your position in that love story, owning your own projections, and maybe coming to a place where you can really, you know, iron this out in a new way. I think that you sense this coming, a difficult conversation, okay? I think it's been really slow in coming. It could be from an earth sign energy too, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You know, there's a lot that's been kind of brewing beneath the surface here, but your instincts are kicking off. Like, it's almost like you can feel this person coming towards you and they're like dragging their heels. Like, they really don't want to own what happened back there. They don't. But there's some important conversation that needs to happen here just so you can kind of like move back into your place of personal empowerment And aside from that, it's also so, you know, even if you decide I'm closing the door on this connection, like that's all I needed. I just really needed to drop in and have this communication. This way you can really step into your own essence and move more into the rebirth energy of that full moon on the 23rd in Scorpio. Yeah. I do see you standing your ground, man. I do, with the Seven of Wands. There's certain ground that you gain that you're not going to concede to this particular devil. I feel that, okay? And I think that's good. And maybe that was the problem. Maybe you needed to properly like stand up for yourself in this situation, and you hadn't before. You needed to school somebody a little bit with the Page of Pentacles. Okay, could be an earth sign. Oh, strong Taurus indication with the earth sign energy coming out right there with the Page of Pentacles with the Emperor, okay? This could be somebody that has strong Taurus in their chart. Could be Aries too, but I feel like this has a lot to do with also really understanding what you bring to the table in love, and that you give respect, but, you know, respect needs to work both ways. You know, there's something about this. You want to be with somebody who can handle you meeting them in that Emperor, or them meeting you in your Empress. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's not that you have like some kind of power over me and you get to control me and act like a daddy or act like my mommy and tell me like what to do. Okay. I don't want somebody who's going to rule over me. I want somebody who will rule with me. I mean, come on, man. Why can't we both wear the crown? Okay. There's something about this. This is like maybe people that like really butt heads were very combative about, no, it's my way, you know, wanted to have to say so, you know, very stubborn. Okay. Earth sign energy coming through pretty strong with this Taurus, very strongly indicated. All right. Very strongly indicated. And we also have to think that Taurus is going to be coming on the scene shortly after all this action too, on the 29th. Okay, so you may have a butting of heads with this person sometime around the 29th when Venus enters Taurus, all right? Yeah, and right after that, we got Mars in Aries with Venus square Pluto again. So it's the opposition of the Taurus and the Scorpio. There's something you're ending cycle on here. There's just been too much backstabbing in a particular situation. It's like, how many rounds of this do I need to go through? How many times do I have to deal with, you know, the promises and then the subsequent, you know, knife in the back? I mean, how many times you've been through this already? 10 times you've dealt with this? Like, you might hope for it to be a different way. That's how that kind of like energy can work against us when we really want to see the best in people or the best in situations. So there's something you might be balancing out here with a little more practicality. Yeah, I can see that. Like, you're trying to get more real about things, down to earth, and it's hard for you because you want to fly to the sun, Leo, you know, like Icarus, but you know how that can burn. And when you come down, man, there's no soft place to land. It's rough landing. Oh yeah, you've dealt with this before. You know, you've been emotionally manipulated before. You've dealt with this before, you know. This can be somebody who's very emotionally manipulative. They know the fantasy you want to hear. They know how to deliver it too. And they make it seem like it's going to be an even give and take, but it never is. You know, one person's always left totally depleted here. It may be surprising to some of you to find that this is coming through, and I got sentience around it, that it's actually the masculine that feels really depleted in this situation. Like, they feel like they're giving a lot. They feel like they're giving a lot and their cup's not being filled. Some may feel that they're just being used for something that they offer, maybe some kind of stability, okay? I could see this as masculine energy being like whoever is the so-called like breadwinner, whoever, you know, makes the most money in the situation. They may really equate that, you know, it's something that's very much programmed into the masculine. So I could really see this as like the man in this situation really feels like, how are you contributing to me? Like, you know, there's something here, okay? There might be something coming through about somebody in this situation feels like the other is really entitled. And you may feel that way about them. Okay. Like I said, it's usually a mirrored situation when we're looking at matters of the heart. That thing that like really irritates you about that other person is actually something about yourself that you're not wanting to see or not wanting to look at. It's that it's kind of like poking a wound, and that's why it feels so like, right? Oh, I know. It's not fun. We don't like looking at that stuff. I know. Believe me, I know. Okay. We don't like looking at that stuff. But if we want this, right? If we want to really truly meet another on the same level, that's what it takes to rise up out of the challenges of the past and transform the connection. All right. Let's do the cut of the deck here and see what we got. We do have somebody coming toward you, okay? Or you're racing toward another. I mean, this is you moving forward, okay? You may be moving forward toward, oh yeah, somebody that, you know, you were cut off from before, okay? I could see that. I could see that. You might also be riding past a particular someone that like wants some answers, and you're like, no, I'm just going to try. There might be somebody that you're like, I don't have time. I don't have time to get hung up on the past anymore. Like, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm heading. You know, I got passion for this. You know, there's somebody there who can meet me on that level. Maybe that's something that's been missing. You're wanting a little bit. Can we have a little bit more of that? I know we got to be practical, but can we have a little bit more heat, please? 22:11 on the clock. I feel like it's that for a lot of you. You're wanting a little bit more adventure. And some of you are wanting a little bit more adventure in the bedroom, you know? Well, you got to communicate about these things, okay? But no. It's coming through like that, okay? Especially if you're an Aquarius rising, you may be feeling like this really strongly, like, I don't care. I don't want to hash it out. That's funny. That is really funny. Ooh, but there's an Ace of Cups here. Yeah, because you're racing towards this new beginning. You're racing towards this new beginning, and you're wanting fulfillment. I have to bring it in like this. It's like enough of the cold stuff. Can we heat it up? That's what I see. I mean, I'm really looking at this as sort of like that climax moment, okay, for both parties in this situation. You catch my drift, okay? Sometimes the tower can be quite the climax. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, somebody likes to do this, you know? They like that makeup sex, okay? So I could see this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're already planning. They're already plotting. They already got their strategy on lock, okay? So this is something you might need to be aware of, okay? You do need to be aware of this too. Like maybe that's a pattern. You guys like just break up to make up, you know? You're one of those couples, okay? There might be something to really look at here, you know? You've been down this road before. I feel like with the Eight of Cups showing up here, the potential for it to turn out the same is very strong, but you know, sometimes people like to watch a particular episode on repeat. That's my favorite episode, though. That's my favorite episode. I've watched it 7 times already, man. Something on last time, though, man. I didn't just get one knife in my back. I got 3, okay? Could be because third party got brought in, but, you know, I don't know. This may be where you really want to plant your Ace of Pentacles. Could this be the problem? If you got a situation like that where you just keep coming back around to each other over and over and over again, well, can you maybe accept that maybe you are meant to share this, you know, path together? And maybe it's about, you know, reigniting that sense of spark and like passion and adventure in your connection. Can you find an adventure in the growth? Like you're each going to continue to transform and change. You're not going to be the same people you met initially. And that's a good thing. We should hope for that, for growth in the relationship. There might be a little bit of sort of like a hidden gift in your situation. I'm getting that pretty strongly for you. Okay, let's see what the goddess guidance cards have to say, because we are working with that Venusian energy. So I wanted to bring in a little goddess guidance to do the overarching themes. Yeah, get focused, man. Okay, you could be dealing with a Sagittarius, just with that Archer reference to come in there. I also feel like you might be shooting a very significant shot, or someone's shooting their shot with you on 420 when we have the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction, okay? This might take you by surprise. This person, I mean, with that Page of Swords showing up, this person's been thinking about it for a while. It says, keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you'll make your mark. But first, you got to figure out, what is your target? What are you hoping to achieve here? What are you wanting in this situation? That's a target. You know, do you know who you want to, you know, explore what you want with? Okay. It's like, do you know what that looks like? There's something here too about your communication needs to be really clear and really transparent, even if you think the other person will be horrified by what you want. You got to give everybody their freedom for it to really truly be love, and that's freedom to, you know what they're getting into as well, what they're choosing to invest in. So I feel like you're grappling with things like this in your love story, Leo. Okay, what goddess is coming in to support Leo in their love story as the triad of Venus transits roll out? How is Leo going to be supported in opening up their heart to receive the love they're ready to let in now? What does Leo need to focus on to best facilitate the opening of the road to romance and that adventure they're looking for in matters of the heart in their life? Let's see. Sedna, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all your tomorrows. Okay, this is really beautiful energy. So this is a bit about memory being activated, something deeper, more distant, being activated within you. Whales often deal with like the record keeper. They're known as the record keeper as a totem medicine, and that's really speaking of like your soul records, you know, your Akashic records. And there's something here that you are experiencing in matters of the heart that goes way back. You know, it's like an origin story. This is definitely somebody who's a soulmate. This is somebody that you've traveled through many lifetimes with. This is somebody that you feel that instant soul recognition with. Now, I know not everybody believes in the concept of past lives and all that, or Akashic records. So let's just say when you connect with this person, you feel like you've known them all your life, even if you're meeting them for the first time. That may have been how your meeting was. There was just this instant sense of memory, even though you knew, like, I've never met you before, but I feel like I have. We've all had those deja vu kind of experiences. I do feel like you're going to have a lot of these deja vu kind of experiences. And there's something about this that's going to unlock your heart. So your heart doesn't feel like it has to hold on so tightly, because if you open up the heart, there you discover there's just an infinite supply of love. 29:29 on the clock, okay? 11:11. When you're really tapped into your true essence, you know love doesn't go anywhere. You're always connected to love. It's the essence of who you are. It's all around you. And love comes through. We tap into it in many different ways. And when we get so like fixated on a particular outcome or a particular person in our love story, we're really blocking the true nature of love, which is just free flow. And it's this beautiful reciprocal flow. And it's never ending. It's inexhaustible. And so there's something here about moving more into this place of just open-hearted trust that even if the way love comes in as you're closing a karmic cycle, because I do feel like you are, okay? You're closing a cycle and you're preparing to open up a new chapter that's going to infuse a little bit more adventure into the mix, something you're looking for. There's more heat on the new chapter opening. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be so soggy. It's not going to be so soggy, boggy, okay? There's actually going to be growth there. You know, it's going to be stimulating for you. I do see like travel playing a role and more dynamic communication and new experiences with each other, even if you're like in a really old, you know, relationship and you're just hitting the reboot on it, you know, there's like an reinvigoration happening here, okay? But this is like this piece of just letting things flow and understanding no matter how things pan out, it's taking you someplace that will really connect you to the source of love that wants to nourish you. All right. And there is some like soulmate energy coming in here. Sometimes you can get really connected to a particular person. You think that person leaves and you don't get to live out that love story with them. Well, all is lost. There's no more love left for me. No, there's an infinite supply, and you're going to see that. Okay. This is, I said, I'll just look at the card behind it. Look at that. We got Isolde, undying love. You see, it's beautiful. Love is eternal. Right? It merely transforms. Some of you lost a love because they passed away, but you still feel that connection. And sometimes it's hard for you to think of opening your heart to another. But at the same time, I think you feel like something's stirring in you. And for some of you, it felt like a death when you lost this love, okay? It hit you that hard in your heart. But there's something deeper speaking to you that's saying it's okay, you know? It's okay. And you know there's peace there in that connection, right? And you know that they would want you to move forward and experience true love again, because that was true love too. But you got more than one true love. You got an infinite supply. Lucky you. Just let it come to bloom.